Sonor family. This is Jules, and it is Monday morning. I got a couple of things to talk about, and then I'm going to get on my day. I'm going to be off to Atlanta to pick up my formerly broken iMac. And anyway, just got a few things going on here. Got an interview coming out to you Saturday morning. It's been recorded. I've done most of the post production on that and got it about ready to roll. I got to get scrambling because that's the last Sonor artist I've got immediately lined up. I got to get going here to keep you guys some stuff to watch. And other interviews I'm working on is drum techs for two artists we've already done interviews with. Uh, I've got I got one that I'm trying to nudge into doing this, and another one I haven't spoken with him yet, but I feel pretty favorably he's going to be on board. And I think this is going to give us some interesting insight to the other side of Sonor, from the perspective of the guy that sets it up and maintains it and tunes it and all that. And we haven't done that before, and I think that's going to be of interest to folks. And other than that, I've got to scramble and get us some more people signed up that we're going to recognize. And another thing, my interview with Arthur Mambuka, I didn't know who that guy was when he contacted me. And I agreed to do the interview because I thought it'd be a perspective, that a lot of people can relate to. If you're not a Sonor endorsed artist and you're out there doing it on your own and all that, you might can relate to this guy. You know what? The views have soared way beyond what I expected. It been a lot of views on that, and I'm glad I did that. He's an interesting guy for sure, and got an absolutely beautiful drum set. And in trying to keep the interview from running long, I cut some stuff out. He actually ordered a snare drum with the same bearing edges as the Protean, and we're going to do an unboxing video. That's the plan, when he gets that, and going to compare that to the Protean he's already using. And if I'm saying that wrong, bear with me. I'm bad about butchering some of this stuff. But anyway, so I'm interested if you or someone uh, is a Sonar user and not a well-known artist or whatever. What your story still may be of interest to folks. So contact me at drumandstage@gmail.com. That and is spelled out, drum and stage. So just get in touch with me. Let me know if you want to do one or if you know somebody who might. Some other things I'm going to talk about coming up soon is the evolution of the Sonor Strainers. I'm not talking about this won't include the dual glide system. This is the one that's got the side throw, and how they've changed over the years and the improvements that Sonor's made to them over time. And we're also going to break them down literally and look at how they work and why they start to malfunction, especially the earlier ones, the ones that were specific, not specific, but original on a lot of the phonic era stuff. Those could be really problematic. We'll talk about why and how to fix that. And another conversation we're going to have, a quick background. A couple of years ago, my business, I had a couple of really good years. And in that time, I bought a lot of gear from several different dealers, and it flipped a lot of it to keep buying. And so I'm going to go back and I'm going to talk about some of my experiences with the different dealers on a kind of a surface level. The basic gist is going to be what to look for when choosing a dealer. Now, ideally, we all know the ultimate thing would be to have a guy across the street that's a Sonor dealer and he's got everything they've got and has all the good deals, all the special drums that come out, and all the best financing options. But living in the real world, probably very few of us have that as far as the local dealer goes. So we're going to talk about, why to buy from this guy under this circumstance or why to do that. And it's going to be pretty general. I'm not going to say this particular local dealer. Your local dealer really is going to be more local to you. Or if you don't have one, another local mom and pop shop, when you can. Sometimes there's extenuating circumstances. Sometimes you need financing that your local guy just doesn't have available. Sometimes this particular guy just might have a special model that you can't get from anybody else. So you've got no other options but to go there. And then sometimes, it's just a matter of trying to support a small operation that needs the support. So we're going to go into that kind of deep. And part of that's going to be based on observations, and part of it's going to be based on my own experiences. Something I'm considering doing is dealer spotlights, actually honing in on some people I've had direct contact and extensive dealings with over the years. And this is only my third cup of coffee, so I'm a little draggy yet. But got to be careful on this one. This isn't going to be a slanderous, generalized. Yeah, these guys are hard to deal with. They do this and they do that, and they ship the drum turned inside out, and stupid stuff like that. That's not how this is going to go. It's going to be a detailed, you know, uh, this is what happened. I ordered this. This is what happened. Had a problem with this or whatever. It's going to be very factual. I'm not gonna sit there and call people names or generalize that they don't know what they're doing or they don't care or it's all about the money. There's not going to be anything like that. Going to be very specific in detailing instances of what happened, good or bad. So that's what I've got planned up in the near future. Drumandstage@gmail is my direct email account. If you have ideas for content, I want to hear it. If you've got somebody in the neighborhood that owns some awesome sonar gear, but they're not big enough to be on my radar, let me know who they are if they might want to do an interview. If you're somebody that you want to tell your story, let's hear it. I'll put it out there. You just let me know what you got in mind, and we'll go from there. And the big thing for me right now, personally, is I'm on the quest for a new snare drum. Um, I've been hearing for over a year now they're going to phase out the Pro Lights, and the Pro Lights. The big one for me right now is scoping out a new snare drum. I have heard for over a year now they're phasing out the Pro Lights, and they appear to be trickling into the country in small quantities still. But ultimately, I think the Pro Light snare drums, and for me specifically, the metal shell is where my interest is. I think they're going away, and I don't know if there's a new high end model or not. So I'm kind of testing the waters to figure out what I want to do. And uh, the 150th anniversary stuff came out at NAMM in January, and I just personally don't believe that's all we're going to see out of Sonor for the 150th. Um, it's that's not something everybody can put their hands on. There's not enough of them to go around if people had the money, and second of all, there's not a lot of folks in like me. I can't just order one up. That's a big, and I'm not saying they're overpriced. I'm just saying that's a lot of money. And somebody like myself, I'm just a couple of years ago, I'd have snatched one up, no problem. Right now, a little bit of a different ball game. So, what I do hope for is I hope for product to come out later this year that we all can have a shot at, and I hope that includes some new snare drums. Now, I know they're really loving the compressor line. And there is nothing wrong with the compressors. I've had a couple. I've got one right now. I've modified one with the dual glide throw off and the hella hoops and all that. And I'll be having a full review on that in the next week or two or sooner. But to go from the Pro Light to the compressor, uh, you know, not really what I have in mind. So I'm going to wait and see what they do. If they disappoint me and don't come out with a new high end line of metal shell drums that's got the dual glide system with the bud and the throw and the hoops I like and that sort of thing, I may actually wind up getting an artist series. Artist bronze is on my radar. As a matter of fact, made a big push trying to scramble to get one recently, and it didn't work out. That's a pretty high dollar snare drum. You don't just take, money out of your couch and break up change and order that thing. Uh, so, and I may ultimately wind up with one. That's what I really want. I had a couple of Gretches that were uh, what do they call them? Solid, don't they? Anyway, whatever they call them. I had a I had a bell brass and I had a steel. I had steel. I like the steel so much. I had two. I had one 15 years ago, then got another one 3 or 4 years ago, and flat loved it. And so the cast shell drums are always a winner for me. I had some aluminums as well, come to think of it. And so I really like the idea of the artist bronze, especially after talking to Tal Bergman. He got me really pumped up. They could make him they could make him an ambassador for that drum and put him in advertising. And I think it would. I don't think they could make enough. And I definitely want one. I had to back off that for a little while just because of budgetary constraints. And it may not be that I go with next. It is on my long-term plans. And so I just got to see what else remains in the artist line. I like the idea of a cottonwood, even though it's a wood shell, not a steel or not a metal shell. I haven't ruled out a cottonwood, and we'll just see what comes about this year, and where my quest ends. I'm going to take it easy. I'm not going to get in a rush and make any rash decisions on a new piece of gear. I'm just going to wait excitedly, like I think a lot of us are, to see what else they surprise us with, and I will definitely keep you in the loop as that happens. And other than that, I hope you have a great Monday, and I hope your whole week rocks. Talk to you soon.